How are things different this week? And you haven't lost a regular season game in a long time. How has the team responded? What's the feeling like around practice right now, meeting rooms, all that stuff?
We're hungry. This was a learning experience for a lot of us because, it hasn't happened in a while here. So Coach Day took it in stride and said that this is a learning opportunity for all of us, coaches to players, everyone, for us to learn what we did wrong and how to improve and to fix the mistakes that we made so we can become a better team. So there's just been a great hunger with all the players on both sides of the ball, and we're just hungry and ready to compete again.
What do you think you did learn?
We just learned a lot about doing the small things right. A lot about the details in practice, the details when it comes to things that you wouldn't even think about, just like how we stretch, the way we enter, the way we walk into a practice, the way we walk into a huddle, the way we do anything. All those small little details are things that we've done for so many years here. That's why we've won. And when you lose track of some of those small details, things like this can happen. So we're getting back to the basics. We're making sure we do all the small details right, correcting all the small mistakes, and never letting anything for granted.
Nick, all offensive linemen like the run block. You guys didn't necessarily get a chance to do a lot of that. Do you feel like this line has had an opportunity to really tee offensive and defensive lines yet this year?
Yeah, I think we have a great offensive scheme. Every single week we go in, and whatever the defense gives us, we're going to adjust to it accordingly. Our job is just for us to protect the quarterback and block for the running back, whatever it may be, whatever the situation is. Our job is just to play to the best of our abilities. So we've been able to tee off against people because we just play to the best of our abilities, whatever the case may be, whatever the play is. We just go out and we play hard. We play for each other.
Nick, Garrett said that he felt like today might have been the best practice you've ever had in a while. I don't know how long. I don't know if you agree with that. If you do, I hear you talking about the small details. What tells you these are different than what you were doing for the last couple of weeks in your training camp?
It's about the small details in practice for sure, but it's also just about the energy and the hunger that we have as a team, We had a lot of great energy today throughout almost the entirety of practice. The offense was going at the defense was going at the offense, and it was just great competition day. There's a lot of us just going at each other, and great and good competition, like competition that made each of us better, that made us learn from if someone did this type of move, okay, well, how would I counteract that? And then we would go back at it again, and then the other guy would beat the other guy. It's just going back and forth with each other and just competing. So I would say that to Garrett's estimation that yes, it was a great day of practice, not only because of the small details that I talked about before, but also because of the juice and the energy we had as a team.
Through preseason camp, we kept hearing from you guys on offense how well the defense was playing. You know what I'm talking about. And then these first two games, a little bit progressively worse. What have you seen about them from a resolve standpoint this week, Nick, in terms of practice, et cetera? What have you seen that's different about them, maybe?
We're all just practicing as hard as we always do, Offense practices hard, defense practices hard. It's not like we've changed anything in that nature. We just focus on the small details on our own respective sides, and we just make sure that we need to do what we need to do. I can't talk on the defensive side because I'm not a defensive player. I'm an offensive player. But as a team player and as a teammate of Ohio State, all I know is that we're all focusing on becoming better players and becoming better teammates throughout this entire week, especially after Saturday. So I feel like that's what's been going on, that we're playing better as a team, we're playing better as teammates.
When you have a performance like you did on Saturday where you had over 600 yards but only scored 4 times, how do you assess that performance?
We got to put the ball in. We take accountability for that all as a whole. That we got to score. That's something that we always talk about. That's one of our key tenets in our plan to win, that we got to score in the red zone. And when you don't score in the red zone, it's hard. And when you got to score touchdowns in the red zone. When you don't score touchdowns in the red zone, it gives the other team an opportunity to make up that deficit that we could have made if we got 6 points and then got the extra point, which makes it 7. So we just got to put the ball in the end zone. But what I can say is that we all played hard. We had a lot of effort. We had a lot of guys going out there busting their butts every single play, as it could show that we had a lot of yards, but we just needed to do the small things right to finish off drives and things like that.
What do you look at it that maybe didn't click on Saturday in terms of you guys finishing as many drives as you could have?
We didn't put the ball in the end zone. That's kind of obvious, but also it's just, we just need to do the small details right. That's what I think we're just harping on this week. It's just doing the small details right, small little things, and trying to finish off things the right way. And the way that we finish off drives and the way that we finish off things is by doing the small details and being pinpoint with our technique and things like that.
Maybe a little bit of video you've gotten to see so far. What stands out about Tulsa's defense? Obviously, they got beat by UC Davis opening game of the year, but they played Oklahoma State. Tough game on Saturday, this past Saturday. What just jumps out at you about Tulsa?
They're a talented team. I don't want anyone to get it mistaken. Like, they have a really good front seven, and they also have some great defensive backs as well. We've watched a lot of film on them in preparation. You know, they have a different type of defense than we've seen before, but I think it's kind of a little bit similar to Oregon. But overall, I mean, they're a bunch of guys that are going out there and they're busting their butts every single play. I don't think there's anyone on that team that isn't a good player. Like, they're all talented, great Division I athletes, and it's a good game. It's a good team.
Were you at all? It's gonna sound like a dumb question. Were you all at all a little disappointed you didn't get to go against Kayvon Thibodeau on Saturday? I mean, I know it was a loss and everything, but I mean, to kind of measure yourself against a guy like that, I mean, did that?
Well, I measure myself with the guys here. I mean, we've had some of the best defensive ends, the best defensive linemen to come through Ohio State. Kayvon's also an amazing player that, would be a great testament for me to go up against. But I mean, overall, like, I go through practice every single day against some of the best guys in the nation. That doesn't faze me at all. Going up against great competition is great, but like, it's not like we don't do that here. I mean, our defense is one of the most athletic, most talented guys I've ever had to go up against in terms of any game, in terms of any situation I've ever been in. So that's why we're all super prepared whenever we go onto the field, because we're going up against some of the best competition day in and day out.
So are you surprised they struggled some on Saturday? What's just as you look back on that game, in other words, you feel like the parts are there to get fixed?
I mean, they're a talented defense. I mean, like, I don't think that's anything different than what we all know, that they're a talented defense. I mean, I'm an offensive player, so I can't talk on necessarily their side in terms of if they struggled or not or whatever, but all I can do is just control what we can do on offense, and all I know is that they come in every single day ready and hungry and ready to compete every single day, so that's all I can say about that.
Did you notice a change in them this week when at practice? A greater resolve, determination, anything from the defensive line today?
I saw a greater resolve for the team, as a team, because at the end of the day, it's all about the team. I mean, there's offensive side, there's defensive side, there's special teams, but at the end of the day, it's about the Ohio State Buckeyes as a team, And what I can say for the team is that there's a resolve with us. There's a hunger with us for us to get back and try to get a win. We're going up against great competition with Tulsa this week. They're a talented team on both sides of the ball, and there's just we had a great 2 days of practice, a lot of competition, a lot of energy, and a lot of going at each other on offense and the defensive side of the ball. So overall, what I can say for the team is that we have a greater resolve of just trying to get back out there, trying to compete, trying to fix the mistakes, whatever they were, trying to fix the small details, and trying to get back out there and just fix things.
Hey Nick, the offensive line have the guys who are have moved positions. Have you seen maybe there be a bit more of an adjustment than maybe you guys thought in fall camp when we talked to you about this?
What do you mean by that?
Just the guys that are in new positions. Has it been a bigger adjustment for some guys than maybe you guys thought when you were just going up against each other in camp?
This is an adjustment for anyone to change positions, but I mean, we all compete as offensive linemen. At the end of the day, we just wanted to find the best 5 guys for us to play offensive line and for us to go out in there and roll, and then not only find the best 5, but from what we learned last year, for us to find a whole unit that can go out there and roll no matter the position, no matter whatever happens. If anyone were to go down or if anything were to happen, we would have someone to be able to step up at any moment, at any occasion. When their number is called, they would compete at their very best. So all I can say is that, like, a lot of the guys that have changed positions, I've been very impressed with. It's a testament to them, not only as football players, but just as great men in terms of being able to go out there and finish a job, no matter if they feel uncomfortable. They were able to embrace the discomfort of trying to do a new position change or anything like that, and they embraced it with full arms and open arms, and it is a great testament to them as who they are, as not only as players, but as people as well.
And Coach Day talked about DeJuan's 2 false start penalties. Both came on, he thought, times when you guys went tempo. For a guy who's still starting his first couple games, what does going tempo do differently that maybe leads to some of those mistakes?
I wouldn't necessarily say that going tempo makes no mistakes. It's just that, sometimes things happen. I was a young player and I made mistakes. I mean, that's not like something that wouldn't happen. There's older players that make mistakes, there's younger players that make mistakes. At the end of the day, we're a team. We just fix the mistakes when we see them on film, and we try to adjust for them, and we try to come back the next week and do things correctly. So only thing I could say to that, you could ask Coach Day about those type of questions in terms of like things like that, but all I know is that We just go out there, we compete, and we try to play hard. And if we make mistakes, we come back into practice, we find out what those mistakes were, and we try to get better.
Nick, after the game, Coach Day talked about wanting more balance on offense, specifically with the running game, and I guess over 450 passing yards. But he wanted more balance from the running game. What do you guys think you need to do to maybe find that success with the running game?
Just overall, I think that we just need to, I would say that we need to block better. I think that the running backs can do better. I think the wide receivers can do better. Overall, as a team, we can just do better in terms of just being able to create lanes for us to run the ball more effectively. But that's kind of more of a Coach Day and Coach Wilson type of deal in terms of scheme and things like that. But all I can tell you is that as players, what we can do is we can just go as hard as we possibly can in practice, and for us to create looks for our running backs and for other people who are running the ball, just to see what it's going to look like on game day, and then be able to execute on game day.
Was Oregon tough to block against?
I mean, they're a great team. Trust, don't get it twisted. They're an amazing team. They had a lot of great players on the defensive line, and a lot of great linebackers as well. They were just very talented. Tough is like such a weird word to use. I would say that they're a very talented defensive front, and they have a lot of great athletes, and they're a very formidable opponent. And it was just great to get a chance for us to go up against an opponent like that.
For you personally, how comfortable have you felt at tackle so far?
I mean, I'm still adjusting to it, but I feel like I've been getting better as every week can go on. That's all I can do, just to keep getting better every single week for my team and for myself. All I want to be able to do is just play for my teammates and play for the brotherhood. So whatever that may be, whether I need to play left tackle or right tackle or whatever position, whatever it took for me to play better for the team is what I try to focus on. So every single week I'm just trying to improve on that and get better and keep improving so that our team can improve as well.
Nick, you guys knew that these first two games you weren't really going to ease into the season. It was going to be two tough games to start things off. As an offense, maybe just specifically as an offensive line, what do you have to accomplish these next 2 weeks, you think, to set up the rest of the season?
We just got to play hard. We got to keep practicing well, have a lot of juice at practices, because at the end of the day, practice is what matters. Practice is what builds into games. The preparation that we do at practice is what translates to games, and the way that we practice, and if we practice hard, we'll be able to translate that into a game, and we'll be able to show that when we go out into the field. So at the end of the day, what we can do is we just need to be able to practice hard, be very fine-tuned with our techniques, and take all the learnings that we took from fall camp, bring that into games, whatever games we play, take our learnings from there and bring that to the next game, and we just need to revert back to our training, which is whatever we learned from fall camp and from the games that we learned. We keep improving, we keep getting better, we keep getting more reps, and we revert back to that training when our number is called and we get onto the field.
Did the loss kind of reinforce that? Did you feel like kind of a renewed awareness of that this week around the team?
A little bit. What I could say is that we just have hunger in us, just to go out there and compete, and for us to fix small details and focus on small things, and just have a lot of juice at practice and have a lot of energy, and just to go out there and compete. And at the end of the day, it's all about competing.